What is going on, Friday Bears fans? That's right. We are on the verge of free agency with an amazing mailbag for you. And you've got your best buddies on this Friday. Will DeWitt is not with us today, so yours truly, Carm, filling in alongside my guy, Nicholas Moreano. And there he is somewhere. My man, Lawrence Benedetto. The CHGO Bears Podcast presented by DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook. Download the app. Use that promo code CHGO when you sign up. I am just so happy to see these smiling faces and this beautiful. Yes, I get a loaf. We're having a little slight technical difficulties over here, but I'm brightened up. I'm shiny. I am ready to go. And Adam Thielen's going to be a Bear. Hey, I don't know if that's going to be the case, but it's an interesting name. I know Bears fans are excited about. They're excited about the mailbag. Nick, good to see you. You put out the questions yesterday. We've got a lot of people want stuff to talk about, which I'm excited about. How are you, sir?
Doing well, Mark. Yeah, looks. I put that out. I think it was this morning. I don't even remember, but yeah, a lot of Bears fans have a lot of questions. And you just mentioned we have free agency coming up. Obviously, the Bears haven't traded the number 1 overall pick yet, and the Bears need a lot of things. They have a lot of things that they need to do. So it makes sense that Bears fans are wanting to hear from us what the answers to the questions that they put in our little Twitter poll, not poll, but just a thread of interesting questions that we're going to go through later in the show.
Lawrence is already getting chat saying poor Lawrence as he's just like coming through your YouTube screen right now, the disappointment on his Friday right now. So congrats.
Honestly, Carm, it's not just you. We had a plumber scheduled for 11 a.m. and they still haven't showed up. So that's no good. The dog's
me and the plumber, huh?
The dog's going to be freaking out downstairs. My wife's going to have to deal with it. I was going to help tell the guy what the hell's going on. Thanks a lot, guy.
Now, people, it's winter. By the way, don't forget the spring forwards Saturday into Sunday morning. You're losing an hour. Yep. Your friend Carm here on the CHGO Bears Podcast letting you know. All right, here, let's just run down Adam Thielen to start the show here because I think that's what this is not a surprise, but it is official out there at 33 years old. Look, this is he's Mr. Viking. Started with the team. Mm-hmm. It was all the way back in 2013. He's got 534 career catches. That's more than any player in Viking history, with the exception of Chris Carter and Randy Moss. I mean, think about that. It's pretty damn impressive. He's first-class human off the field, Walter Payton Man of the Year nomination. There's nothing bad you can say about Adam Thielen. The reason why he's not a Viking next year is because of his cap number, which was just under $20 million, which didn't add up to his production at this point. And the Vikings have Justin Jefferson. You may have heard of him. They have TJ Hockenson. They have KJ Osborne. They're fairly, they're just in a much better spot than the Bears. But his 70 catches and 716 yards and 6 touchdowns would have all led the Bears last year. So, and we need help. And we need to do logical things. And our KT in the chat's already saying, I don't want Thielen. You could say that, but we need to know his price before you say you don't want him, in my mind. What is that? That's what it really comes down to.
Yeah, Mark, too. I think the idea of a veteran wide receiver, we talked yesterday about possible wide receivers for the Bears. I think when we're thinking about what's going to help Justin Fields, the Bears have a lot of cap space, right? So if Adam Thielen comes at the right price, why wouldn't you look at that if you're the Bears? You need to add more wide receiver production at the position because right now there really isn't much that you can go confidently into 2023 knowing, okay, we're solid at maybe the X, Z, whatever it may be. Adam Thielen, although he's going to be, 33, still is a guy that had 730 snaps out wide. He could play in the slot. Like you said, the 70 receptions, 107 targets, 6 touchdowns, all things that would have been great to have on a Bears team. But I just think the idea of getting a veteran wide receiver, whether it's Adam Thielen, we talked about DeAndre Hopkins, if that's a thing, even Odell, I saw some people talking about that as well. Like that idea of getting a veteran, it shouldn't be out of the equation. Yes, it doesn't fit what the Bears currently are doing with a young roster, but you do need to add some veteran talent in here. And that's ultimately, I think, going to help Justin Fields in the long run.
Yeah. And so I get the pushback from the 33. He's old. He doesn't fit on the Bears timeline crowd. I get it. But I think we got to boil in a lot of other things here. Number one, you hit it at the top, Nick. We are looking to make life easier on Justin Fields, and the Bears are trying to find out the passing part of Justin Fields. I think Adam Thielen does a lot of that for you. So you also have to figure in who exactly is the young superstar that you have available that could fill that type of role. And maybe you can get it in the draft, but why not have cake and eat it too? Why can't we, have Zay Flowers and an Adam Thielen, and maybe even, throw in another one? Let's go JSN. Let's get Jackson Smith and Jigba in here as well. And then have a veteran in that room helping that crew come along. You don't think that Chase Claypool would benefit from being around a guy like Adam Thielen? I would think he would. So I'm not saying it's my number one target, but if the Bears did something like that to bring some success, maturity, balance. I know he's not a burner, which we obviously need, but something that will help Fields come along. To me, it would make a lot of sense, despite his age.
No, definitely, and I've seen some people okay, if you get JSN, Jackson Smith, and Jigba, and you have a guy like Thielen, that's a fantastic mentor, even if it's just for a season, for someone to learn the NFL game, how to get open. He's seen every single defensive coverage, knows, how to be successful despite having maybe the physical tools that a lot of other wide receivers has. He's still been very, very successful. So that idea, again, veteran wide receiver, however the Bears maybe want to approach this position, it's got to be on the table for the Bears, because if you're going in with Claypool, Mooney, we'll put Kmet into the equation too as a receiving threat. You just need to add more to that position so you can push it down, hopefully with talent, and that you can ultimately get just a better passing game, because the Bears were last in the NFL in receiving yards. The Bears were last in passing yards. So it's not, obviously there's a lot to improve upon. Another name though, Mark, and actually as we were doing our show yesterday, it happened maybe 15 minutes into the show, somewhere around there. I think Mecole Hardman had a tweet and it was just about, it had the eye emojis, and this is I think this is the prime season for eye emojis for these NFL athletes. So either they're deleting stuff off Instagram or they're putting the eye emojis everywhere. But it was just a pass from when Justin Fields was still at Georgia, threw a touchdown to Mecole Hardman, and he's a free agent too. He's a lot younger than a Thielen, only 24 years old. Obviously comes from Kansas City, would maybe be somebody that can fit in the Bears offense. But, I don't know why I'm getting these Byron Pringle vibes where you get a guy from Kansas City, hope he does something, but doesn't. But again, another name to maybe consider. I'm looking at PFF and Brad Spielberger, who's awesome, knows everything about the cap. His projected contract for him, 3 years, $7.5 million average, $13 million guaranteed, $22.5 million total. I don't know. Do you take a swing on a Mecole Hardman if he's somebody that is available and is looking to come to Chicago?
Yeah, it does feel like more of the same, right? And we probably need to maybe get a professional sports psychologist, therapist in here to believe that we're not doing the Byron Pringle, Kansas City thing again. Although it's, you're not going to get him, I wouldn't think, on a 1-year deal. It's going to be more the 3-year deal that you just named. And it is, if we're looking at ages, 24 is better than 33. This is all true. And he has had a season where he caught 59 balls and he's been on the field for 3 full seasons. Last year he got dinged up and only played 9. I wouldn't hate it. I get it. I'd be more excited on that level of drafting wide receiver and sort of delving into the unknown, which is the thing that I like about Thielen is it's the known. You know what you're getting. You are getting a veteran who knows exactly what he's doing, who's going to be a plus in your locker room. You mentioned Cole Kmet a second ago, Nick. And I mean, Cole Kmet, hats off to credit to Mike Berman over at NBC5, who went down to Notre Dame and met up with him. Cole Kmet's working out at Notre Dame. He's getting his degree or his master's, whatever he's doing down there. He's doing more studying. Cole Kmet, first class, Cole Kmet. And he intimated that, there's preliminary talks with the Bears on a contract negotiation going on here. So, which would also fall on, I can't believe this light keeps turning off. Come on, technology, rise and shine. God, Carman it's just going to be, we're going to get illuminated and not illuminated, and the plumber's going to show up too. It's going to be a whole show. And we'll get to your mailbag in a second. But the point in bringing up Kmet, outside of just credit in the room, and I just think the way Poles and I'm maybe overstating it, but just the way Poles has started his offseason, being fairly open about trading out and adding picks and getting first rounders down the line. These are all logical plays. Kari Blasengame 2-year deal, logical play. Extending Cole Kmet at a reasonable number, logical play. Adam Thielen, to me, logical play. I don't think that this is going to be an offseason of sexiness. We'll find out maybe more, even if they are, come Sunday at / Monday morning at 12:53 a.m. that the tampering window is open, and we find out that the Bears are sitting on the front step of Orlando Brown's home, and they're gonna pay the going rate for Orlando Brown because they want to add on to their offensive line. That to me would also be logical play, even though he's not perfect. And some Bears fans, Gary, I see you out there somewhere, are not super excited about it. I think. I'm just getting a very good sense that Ryan Poles is going to be very down the middle and do just sort of like he did in last year's draft. Wide receivers, we can all look back at the George Pickens thing and nitpick that, and I've done it myself. But there was a lot of receivers and offensive linemen off the board. Okay, I'll take the second best corner on my board because he's still sitting there when I'm up, and I'll do Kyler Gordon. So that's kind of my confidence in what Poles is going to do. As I'm getting very excited on the eve of free agency here, Nick, even though it's Friday and it's not till Sunday.
No, that's all right to get excited. And you know what, Mark, as I'm kind of like thinking about how Ryan Poles approached his first free agency, he was limited in cap space, and obviously his first season as a GM, he didn't make any really big splash moves, right? He couldn't really. And a lot of the names he signed were guys that were kind of almost on prove-it deals, a lot of 1-year deals or a couple 2-year deals. But I would almost be all right, Mark, if Ryan Poles almost said, let's not do that again, because we need to actually get playmakers on this team in 2023. And the free agency class as a whole, if you look at it, is not a strength this year. It's unfortunate with all the money the Bears have, it's not a strength. But if they go out and get names, guys that you have heard of, like we were talking about, guys who are established in the league, even if they may be a little older, I think that's fine to do as long as you don't overdo it in a sense. You're going to overspend a free agency, but I think that's all right for this season, especially given how much cap space you have, but also looking at how many holes you have on this roster. You just want to get a better evaluation out of Justin Fields. So if you want to predicate more of that free agency money on getting maybe some of the better offensive free agents, I'm all right with that. You also got to supplement that and do that in the draft, but this is Ryan Poles' most important offseason. If he has a chance to make Justin Fields better, get this offense to be far better in the passing aspect than it was in 2022, go out and make those moves because you didn't really have a chance or an opportunity to do it last season. This is your year. Everyone's looking at what the Bears are going to do. So everything they do will obviously have a trickle-down effect. So if you want to go do that, I think that I'm fine with that move.
I'm smiling because I see Kevin Kadek in the chat here saying, let's go Rutgers, which I don't think Greg Braggs is watching the show. But I
don't think so.
The Big Ten, I know he isn't because he's at the Big Ten tourney, although he's probably, he does do multiple things. We're paying attention to the Big Ten tournament all weekend here at CHGO. Joe Calcagno in the Super Chat, $4.99. Wouldn't spending on the offensive line do more for the passing game than signing receivers? Extra meh. Just throwing that in there for you, Joe. Look, they got to do both. It's a both and, my brother, right? We can't do one and or the other. I mean, Fields is going to get super excited when he's got somebody else in front of him that can do the job, but he's also going to be wondering who he's throwing to and vice versa. So We are in it's not even cake and eat it too. It's like we've got to have the butter, the milk, and the eggs to make the French toast here. We don't even have the bread. If we're being, I mean, maybe Fields is the bread, I suppose. We'll make Fields the bread. There we go. We
need a lot of ingredients. We need the recipe. We need a lot of the tools to get things done. But no, Joe, like, yes, I think signing, obviously you need to do a little bit of both, because if you don't raise the floor of both those positions, you might be in a similar one that you were in 2022. So you need to add talent on the offensive line. You need to get more wide receivers, and it's not just going to be free agency. It can't be. And the draft is going to be a prime position for Ryan Poles to work his magic, move down the draft boards, trade down, see how many picks you can get for this year, and then see how you can use that draft capital to help Justin Fields in 2023. But it's going to be an approach where you're doing both of them. You can't just do one side and hope, Mooney and Claypool and Velus just take another jump. Hopefully they do, but having a solidified or a better offensive line is definitely going to help those guys in the long run as well.
I'm getting a note from Lawrence on my microphone here. Is this the spot that I want to be in? Can you come on the screen and just drink?
It's just every time you go like this, it sounds totally different than when you're just in your normal position.
Okay, so I need to be right here. I need to be right here.
You're fine there. Yeah.
No,
your mic. Basically, your mic has a lot of pretty colors on it, but it sucks. Is what I'm going to say.
All right.
I think I just need to go, Mark. I need to go to your place, set it up a little bit, because mine is right here. It's nice and same colors, but. I guess it just works.
All right, Nick, I'm buying you dinner. You're coming over. Law, you're invited, and I apologize for non-perfection.
I think I'll stay here. The plumber's coming in 10 minutes. Before we get to the super chat, Chris in the chat is saying that black shoelace is killing my OCD, Nick. Please fix it.
Okay, I just wore these yesterday. That's why it's so. Okay, yep. No, I get you. I
just wore these yesterday. That's amazing. That's good OCD. Congratulations, Chris.
Chris, I'm right there with you. All right, now here, hit the super chat from Lost Doctor 312. He says, not every wide receiver needs to be a number one. You need vets too.
Doctor 312. That sounds to me like you're on the feeling train. We got the shoe fixed, and Lost Doctor 312. I absolutely love your.
I'm out of here.
Your handle. All right, we're gonna get to our mailbag coming back here, and then yes, I had some fun on my Twitter with Recreational Sports Love. So we'll have some fun at the very end of the show as well. We're always having fun here. Come on now, CHGO Bears Podcast. Let's go. Rise and shine. Hey, rise and shine, everybody, and let's get your energy going. The ComEd Energy Efficiency Program is committed to helping families and businesses in the communities we serve save money and energy. ComEd is offering a free facility assessment. An authorized engineer is going to work with you to develop a detailed assessment plan specific to your goals and needs. These can be done in person or virtually. It lasts about 2 hours. And when you get at ComEd, within 3 to 4 weeks, customers are going to get a detailed report on how their energy efficiency projects will be working. And all of a sudden, that money is going to be into your pocket immediately. So this is what you do. Get started saving money and energy to get today. For your energy tips and to schedule the facility assessment, do this. Go to ComEd.com/poweringbiz, ComEd.com/poweringbiz. And if you're already ready to sign up for a facility assessment, you can call them right now, 855-433-2700. Do that during normal business hours to speak with a ComEd and Energy Efficiency Program representative. Or you can do the email route, businessee@ComEd.com, businessee@ComEd.com, or request an assessment online on their website, ComEd.com/facility assessment, ComEd.com/facility assessment.
Go check that. I'm getting a lot of comments about the shoes. I have Tony, Nick, do you only have right shoes? Good saving, I suppose. I looked back, I'm like, oh yeah, they're all the right shoe up there. And then I guess I'm supposed to have white laces on the Jordan 1s, and it's a super chat from Monsi. Says Nick, white laces always on Jordan 1s, but I got a money-making idea. Next celebrity boxing match, Carm versus Braggs, main event, Sylvie versus Cap. Book it. Okay.
Hey, for the record, I don't know what's going on with Sylvie and Cap, but as far as me and Braggs are concerned, the last guy I'm ever getting in the ring with is that dude. And I think ultimately, even though he could kill me, we are both lovers, not fighters. Thank you very much. But I will continue to poke it.
And you know what, Mark? Maybe that would be something that DraftKings would maybe potentially look at, right? The odds on whatever the stakes may be, but there are just so many options when it comes to DraftKings. If you're into the NBA and you want to make some no sweat same game parlays, definitely got that option. If you're into college basketball and want to bet on the Iowa Hawkeyes to take down Ohio State like I did yesterday, you can make that foolish bet that I did in a bigger parlay. So, and the MLB is coming back, and there's just so many options for you and as a bettor, and just you have to explore those options. But first, you have to download the DraftKings Sports app and sign up with the code CHGO. New customers can bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA, of the NHL, of every your major sports. DraftKings got you covered, and maybe main event events in the future. Who knows? But you got to do it with the code CHGO. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details.
All right, let's move along into our mailbag here, and we're getting some amazing comments too. That I'm going to lose my mind today. This is the day. This is the day. Put me in.
Is it just a lamp that you have there that it just keeps going off?
No, I've got a power light going on here, and then it's connected to some computer that just doesn't want to do what it's supposed to do, and this is a me problem. And I'm not going to mention it again. Hey, let's get the love Dave on here. I need some love. We all need love. Polls found Braxton Jones in the 5th round. He knows how to evaluate O-line talent. If he wants Orlando Brown Jr., who are we to question him?
Okay.
Go ahead,
Mark.
No, you.
Well, it's a good point. Obviously, you find Braxton Jones. He also went out and drafted later Ja'Tari Carter. Lucas Patrick was another one of those guys. And yes, I think, injuries really hindered what he was, able to do in his first season with the Bears. But yeah, Ryan Poles, obviously being a former offensive lineman, he knows what he wants. He wants people that have that nastiness to them. They got to be able to move in this wide zone. And if Ryan Poles feels that Orlando Brown Jr. can do that, and obviously being in Kansas City, then he will make a move on that. But if he doesn't, that's also telling in itself. He knows Orlando Brown Jr. better than we all are going to know him at this point. So we'll see what Ryan Poles does, but he is a player that would, upgrade the overall line. And that's what you also got to consider as well.
Overall on Orlando Brown, I'm okay either way. But if Ryan Poles, basically to Love Dave's point, if Ryan Poles wants to add Orlando Brown to this offensive line mix and spend some of his considerable cap money on him, I'm not going to sit there and call him an idiot for it at all. Maybe he's better at right tackle. I got it. And maybe he doesn't fit perfectly with what the Bears want to do. But he was just in an offense playing with a quarterback who literally just does his own thing. So I would, to Love Dave's point, I would trust Poles in his assessment of Orlando Brown. But, let's also remember, and Doug Kramer got hurt, so we don't really know. Ja'Tari Carter didn't get on the field. He's just because Braxton hit like this whole offensive line. He's an offensive line guru. He played the position. He hasn't drafted anyone that's made it to the Hall of Fame yet, let alone a Pro Bowl. So I think we need to calm down on the whole he's an offensive line guru thing. And by the way, I would like him to be a find really cool players guru. Like that's his job, and that's what he's trying to do. Can we get Robert Lee up here? This is a cool chat, just that we want to give you appreciation back for. Robert is just giving us love. This is so amazing. Way back in the day, once the season was over, unless you lived in the city, your NFL team, you were not getting much info at all. Thank goodness for the interweb. LOL 50-year plus fan CHGO. Thank you, Robert, wherever you're watching from. We appreciate you taking time to check us out. Apparently 365 days a year. God bless you. Bro Delicious is in there. Hey, Robert, I wish I could give a thumbs up to your comment. I feel the same way, except I'm only 40 plus. I'm only in the 40 plus thing too, Bro Delicious, although not for long. Come August 11th, if you'd like to send me a birthday gift as I hit the midway point. Hopefully.
I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah.
August 11th.
Yeah.
Got it.
All right. Let's get to the mailbag here. My first ever mailbag. I'm excited. So where are we starting here, team? What do we got to start us off here in the mailbag?
Yeah, so we'll have Lawrence pull up the tweet here. And again, thank you to everybody who submitted questions in here. Okay, we might as well start with the first one we see here. And this is from Jonathan. Why is Greg Braggs such a badass? Let's just get it out of the way right now, Mark. All right, to truthfully answer this, well, I mean, Greg, what he did at the combine and was able to do was impressive. Just being able to get people, and it's just his natural personality. So, Greg, appreciate that.
Can I first of all, Greg is a great man, and we love Greg. Now Greg and I after the show on Wednesday, he was so excited about the Big Ten tournament that he had to go get his credential when he wasn't even going to the game. I mean, you go to the game, they give you your credential. He could have gone the day that he went, right? But he had to get that credential because he was fired up. So we went over there, took a little extra time. We're right by the United Center, no big deal. It took us, 20-minute extravaganza, although they weren't open till 3:30. So we had to get into a lunch with Braggs, and I had to watch him crush 4 pieces of pepperoni pizza, which was not my best visual of the day. That's rude. But so my point is that the dude took his credential home, and I was supposed to meet him last night for Penn State and Illinois after Nick wouldn't go with me to the Iowa game. The guy, he's like, and I was actually going to have him pick me up because of what was going on. Calls me 20 minutes on his way to picking me up. Hey, dude, sorry. I'm really bummed not going to make it. He left his credential at home. So he had to turn back around in Indiana to go back, and he was unwilling to be late for the game because he wants to watch every minute. So he left me stranded, and he sucks. So do whatever. Whatever.
It's a bad job.
Not a badass move to the mailbag. That sucked. So I was by myself last night, and then of course he's just firing at me from home. I love you, Braggs. Continue on.
Yeah, no, bad job by Greg. See, good and bad, like everybody, right? So that's the first question. Like, let's bring it back up here, Lawrence, and kind of scroll down and see what we got here. There's plenty of more Bears-related questions.
Actually, I want to jump in here. We got a couple super chats, so they should probably
Okay.
take a little precedence here.
Let's do it.
First up is Why the NYC, $5. How would you feel about the Eagles trading up number 10, number 30, and a future first for number 1?
What are the Eagles trading all that to do? I mean, that's a quarterback. That's trading up to go get a quarterback. And I don't think the Eagles are in that position. No. What I need the Eagles to do here, and I already made a bet on DraftKings. I need them at number 10 to draft Bijan Robinson because I put some money on that already. And if they do that, I'll be perfectly fine. But this, I just don't know why the Eagles would do that. Yeah,
and taking the Eagles out of it, WATHE NYC. What's up, New York City? That price, I'm getting the 10, a 1 next year, and a 30. So 3 picks in the top 30 with one of them next year, or 2 picks in the top 30, and the Eagles' future number 1, which is probably going to be number 25 in this particular scenario. My answer would be no. I don't think so.
Yeah. Not enough value there. Not enough value. Okay, from Monsi, can you guys make it clear JSN is going to be a great, reliable slot guy? I think Bears fans are thinking he's an outside receiver. And if they do draft him, they'll set unrealistic expectations. I think right now there's a lot of hype around JSN. I really love JSN, what he can do, how he can separate, what he would do for Justin Fields. But I do feel like if he doesn't amount to be this top 10 pick, I think if the Bears were to draft him, and you got to go check out Adam Hogue's latest mock draft after this show, he does have him taking that first pick, JSN. Won't tell you any more about that. But yeah, he's a guy that I think can win in the NFL. I do believe that. But if he doesn't amount to be this top 10 pick that changes the Bears offense, yeah, Bears fans are going to be disappointed. But there's a lot of hype around him right now.
We asked him about it at the combine, Monty, and he thinks he can play all over. Now, he's not going to say I'm just a slot guy, so take that for what it's worth. But to your point, I'm not sure where Bears fans are at on what their expectations would be. But if he's a phenomenal slot receiver, we would take that all day. But I wouldn't completely take off the table that he can't play outside at least some. Mm-hmm. So perfect scenario, sure. But right now the Bears don't really have any level of comfort that you could just put guys exactly where they belong. So I don't know. I think you could play around with it at least a little bit early in his career. It's the biggest thing for me with JSN is because he couldn't run at the combine, soft tissue injury. I'm assuming that's fine, but it makes me a little bit nervous if I'm being honest.
Yeah, Mark, and I had some people reach out to me who have been covering the NFL for a while, have been in the scouting, and they're like, that hamstring, that's something to monitor, because if he's not running, it means there's something behind it. Hopefully that's not the case for JSN, but we'll see at his pro day, Ohio State's pro day, see if he runs and does everything else. But yeah, just you have to be mindful of it, especially if you're investing a top 10 pick. You want to make sure this guy is going to be durable, is going to last, and is going to be on the field when you need him to be.
Yeah, and that's what he said at the combine, that he's going to run at his pro day. And for me, even if he didn't run at his pro day, I do need to see you run before April the 27th. At some point we're going to have to see it go full blast here, because that would, if you're really considering trading down to the Colts and picking him at 9, I got to know the dude's healthy. Even though long NFL career, and it's not Alonzo Ball knee injury. Sorry to mention that. That was terrible. All right, back to the mailbag.
Yeah, let's see. All righty, we got the Greg Braggs Jr. question. Okay, the first one from what is this? Wasi, gonna butcher your name, at WASID93. It's like, what's the projection of the team for the next 3 years? Hard to do that. I know it's hard to predict what the future will look like, but going into 2024, we'll probably have another $80 million to spend for free agency and hopefully additional draft capital. Look, I don't know the exact answer to this. I don't think anybody does, not even people within the Bears organization. But I would think, after this 2023 season, which you hopefully do to help Justin Fields become the passer, the quarterback that you think he can be, like, playoffs need to be in the question for 2024, right? You need to make a good enough jump offensively and defensively in 2023, starting to get more guys that you can count on, dudes, not just players that fill a position. But come 2024, like that in the hunt graphic that you always see, and maybe the Bears will be at the bottom of it. I would hope they're in the middle, or like trying to fight for an NFC North that's maybe looking like they're not going to have Aaron Rodgers. You have an aging Kirk Cousins, then the Detroit Lions are on the come up. But like 2024 should definitely be a time, if everything goes right, Fields is your guy, you see him make the progress, that they are looking to compete and make a little noise in the playoffs.
Nick's not really, he's hemming and hawing here on putting it out there. Look, if they're not in the playoff conversation in 2024, something went wrong. Something went woefully wrong. That means that Fields did not work out. That means they moved on. That means they didn't pay him. That means that, they didn't have the draft capital and or the luck to get Caleb Williams, and we'll be in QB hell again. So get that off our mailbag. Let's not think about that. But that's what I think, at worst case scenario, the Bears go from 3 to 6 wins next year to 9. If they're not at least doing that, then the conversation at that point will be, who the hell is going to replace Ryan Poles? If they're not, it won't be quite that far, but it'll be that's like the next thing on the conversation if they're still muddling along at 6 wins in 2024.
Hopefully that's not the case. Andre, Justin have any commercials yet? I don't think so. Not like national commercials. I mean, I see that he's obviously sponsored and endorsed by a lot of things, but I don't know if there's any commercials for Justin Fields yet. Not that I've seen. If anyone sees differently,
he was repping about 7,000 brands at the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm. C4 being one of them, yeah.
C4, the drink, was one, which he was on with Barstool with PMT, and but he was I forget who he was repping with Fansided. He was all over the place. Rich Eisen. So he wasn't there just because he wanted to talk to people. He was making dollars.
Yeah, smart man. Let's see what else we got here, Lawrence, as we kind of continue through the mailbag of questions from Bears fans here. All right, cool. Let's keep scrolling down here. I see the McGlinchey. We talked about him a lot in this. Okay, yeah, Mr. Anderson. This is a good one. Solid versus special. As we approach free agency in the draft, should the Bears focus on acquiring special difference-making free agents or spreading their free agent money on a bunch of solid players as well as trading out of the top 5 to acquire a ton of picks? Solid versus special. I would almost think, Mark, like what they did last year would almost be kind of the second thing that was mentioned in Mr. Anderson's comment, where they just got a bunch of guys. But I don't know if there's a lot of the special guys in this free agency class, right? I mean, Javon Hargrave would maybe be the top end guy at the 3-tech position. We've talked about the wide receivers and how scarce that is. So I think, again, to an easy cop out is like, it's going to be a little bit of both when Ryan Poles is looking at this class. Moving on the top 10 or trading down is, I think, an absolute need for Ryan Poles. I'm with 1, you're definitely not making a pick there. Even if you get to 4 with the Colts, someone's asking to trade up to go get a quarterback. I'm moving back again, especially if it's at 9 with Carolina. So I think, to me, it's going to be a little bit of both there. Again, there's not a lot of that special in my eyes for the free agency class.
Look, you go back through NFL time, most Super Bowl champions, 97% off the top of my head, roughly, they won because they were special in the draft and solid in free agency. You've got to get your elite players in the draft, keep them, and you have to, and you augment that by making solid, reasonable spending maneuvers to manage the cap versus overspending and hoping for a miracle. Look at the Patriots last year. Spent through their nose to revamp the roster. Where to get them? Got them to 10-7 and nothing. Not saying that, their future is done, but Bill Belichick ain't going to do this alone, and so they haven't been special in the draft. Mac Jones is not special. He's at best solid, which is why you got middling New England now. So we need some special in this draft, my dog. Let's go, Ryan Poles. And I think his plan is just to do the solid thing. To long answer there.
Yeah, no, I agree there, Mark. So the thumbnail, the whole entire premise of this show, what's the most overlooked need? We're gonna get to that question right now, and it's from the Bears Bastard on Twitter here. He asks, what is the most overlooked hole this Bears roster has? Everyone talks about wide receiver, O-line, D-line. My opinion is we need another cornerback, given that today's league requires 3 good corners. Do you think that position is addressed via free agency or draft? Is Vildor the answer at cornerback? And then he puts in parentheses, I hope not. And that it's a really good question, and it's something that I think is being a little bit overlooked. And I know some people in the chat, when they clicked on this YouTube video, read what this is going to be about, went to the secondary, even though there's a lot of good stuff from the secondary last season. But the outside cornerback spot opposite of Jalen Johnson, that is something that needs to be addressed, in my opinion. And Kendall Vildor, as a 5th-round draft pick out of Georgia, Georgia Southern? He's fine as a depth guy. I think that they asked a little bit too much of him, but I think you do need to go upgrade that position. And if it comes to free agency, if you're looking to spend big money or looking to actually spend money, I'd be okay with the Bears looking at some of these corners in free agency. Jamal Dean from Tampa Bay is a guy that I know has been getting a little bit more buzz, more of a press corner, does take some risks and trying to jump some routes, but will look to try to create some turnovers, and that Matt Eberflus is big on that. So if that's a position that Ryan Poles wants to dish out a little bit more money to, I think that's all right, because you need to spend the money, but I think having not just a fill in the spot player at that position, you need to have a guy. So I think cornerback is definitely one of those underrated positions that come after the free agency and the draft. Hopefully Ryan Poles addresses.
I'm not saying he's the guy, but just a kind of an under radar thing that the Bears did was also offer a contract to Josh Blackwell, who stood out last year on special teams. He was fantastic, maybe their best special teamer. Jalen Jones also, it wasn't great early, but it was better late. Obviously, these are not the answers. There's a lot of veteran corners out there that you could spend that way. The draft is also filled with corners too that people like. So, yeah. But to your overall point, I can't quite come. I'm not saying they don't need it, but they have so many other needs that it does get dropped down. I mean, you can't tell me that you need a corner more than you need O-line help, more than you need wide receiver help, more than you need, most importantly, defensive line get to the quarterback help. I mean, that you are down the list. No corner is going to look good with the Bears right now because unless he's Dion in his prime, because they just don't. I mean, it's just any quarterback is licking their chops. So that's they absolutely, we all know, must address that first, and then we can start to deal with the periphery.
Yeah, and I'm seeing too from Gary, Mr. Perry in the chat, like linebacker's another thing. Like you have Jack Sanborn as your middle, but your will linebacker position, arguably the second most important defensive position in this defense behind the 3-tech. Like Nicholas Morrow ain't it? Like you wanna ultimately get some guys there. He's a great guy, great dude to talk to, Nicholas Morrow. But you do want to have somebody that not only is going to get the production, but is going to make the impact plays from that position that's needed there. And that's something that, maybe that does come through free agency or late round pick in the draft. I don't know, but that is definitely something else that if you're looking to ultimately upgrade the entire defense, you need to go get a will linebacker. The Sam linebacker, I think you could just fill with a guy, a position guy, but I would like somebody who is productive, up and coming, that to actually fill that spot and be, a productive player for the Bears. So I do agree.
Bobby Okereke, which I saw Gary in the comments earlier, that of course he wants more money than what Poles wants to give him right now. We'll see where that falls. But that's definitely a name to watch. And yes, I like linebackers, even though it's not a premium position. I'm exhausted. How's this? And because I keep on hearing conversation. I don't know who said it. That I was like literally sitting here listening, like saying, "Thank you." You need premium players. I really don't care what position they play. Give me awesome players who are really good at the game of football. Trust me, they will impact you from wherever on the field. You give me an elite tight end, he's going to catch a ton of balls from Justin Fields. Give me a great wide receiver, fantastic. Give me a running back who can with the ball and can catch out of the backfield. He's going to have an impact on this team. We need players. Give me a linebacker who's quick to the ball, and all of a sudden we'll see him all the time, a la Sand God.
It makes sense. It makes sense, Mark. And like Laz in the chat here, center is most overlooked need. That's another one. Give me a premium center. Give me why am I blanking? Ryan Jensen from Tampa Bay. If they're looking to shop people, I think Bears fans would love that. Whoa. Somebody who does bring that nastiness, who can help Justin Fields, help the protections. The center will help everybody on the line, regardless of the talent that they have. So I completely agree. If you get dudes, premium players at these positions, you're going to see the roster just ultimately play a little bit better because you do have higher talent, which the Bears – They didn't have anywhere close to that last season. They just had a bunch of guys playing positions.
Yeah. And Gary, of course, on the news, we haven't mentioned today, Ben Jones released by the Titans. I mean, probably not a fit for the Bears, but maybe he was a Pro Bowler last year, but he missed 5 games with concussions. He's 33 years old also. I mean, he's an 11-year vet, but you want to go Ben Jones? You want to do that for a year or two, give some comfortability, and bank on him getting back fully to health. I mean, before this year with the concussions, the guy played every damn ass down. So I wouldn't hate that one either. Be a good guy in your locker room too. Would fit what they're trying to do as far as character guys. So that's another name that's out there.
Yeah, and I mean, as much as the Titans ran the football too, like obviously the Bears want to run the football a lot as well. So it kind of would fit schematically in that aspect. I have to watch a little bit more of Ben Jones. No, the wide zone and everything would work, probably would. But yeah, another name. Another question is kind of speaking more to the offensive line from the question that we got today for the show. It comes from Emmett Jagger, MBA, Cody Whitehair. Staying or cut, replacing 3 on the line is a tall task, but I think I would want to rip the Band-Aid off now. Who should we be looking at with our shiny new comp pick? That's right. The Bears got a comp pick. They got a 7th round pick for this season. I don't remember the last time the Bears have actually been in the comp pick formula, but they got one finally.
All right.
But Cody, yeah, the Bears are moving onward. Cody Whitehair, staying or cut, I think and agree with Gary, will be cut June 1st. He's making the 2nd most money on the Bears this season behind Eddie Jackson, if I'm not mistaken. Right. And he's being paid like he's the 8th best guard in the NFL. And, Cody Whitehair has been an awesome professional for the Bears. He's played multiple positions. He's taken pay cuts. He's done everything that you want as a football player. But I think it is probably time for the Bears to move on. And that just does mean you have to, put another player in that position. But I think if Ryan Poles finds a better guard, whether that's draft free agent, whatever it may be, you look at that. You look at that because I don't know if you're getting as much. You're not getting the production from what, Cody Whitehair is ultimately making.
It's an interesting calculus because you don't want to subtract from that spot. And he is getting paid on the high end of the roster, and he is getting older, as we all are, but he missed time last year, significant time. What's the plan? Who you're replacing him with? That would also fall under my trust in Poles umbrella. We're talking about good players, somebody who's impacting the roster. Cody Whitehair's fine. He's not like, oh man, we can't do it without Whitehair. I don't think anybody would say that. But it is a risk letting somebody like that go who has been here for a long time, has value in the room, and can still play. It's not like he can't play, but maybe he's a little overpriced at this point.
No, yeah, I agree there, Mark. I think we'll answer probably one more of these before we kind of move on to the next segment. But this is an interesting question. I think it's going to rile up some of these Bears fans here, but we can have a good discussion about it. Oh, hi, Mark, ! Asked this question. And he says, yes, his cast, and he's referring to Justin Fields. Yes, his cast wasn't good, but is it too much blame being put on Justin Fields' cast of players and not enough on him as a passer? He seems very tentative, throwing into tight windows, escapes the pocket too soon, and doesn't let plays develop. Doesn't hit receivers that are open at times in the pocket. So why I want to answer this one or debate and talk about it on the Athletic Football Show with Nate Tice, and they were kind of just discussing Lamar Jackson and how he was able to be an MVP. But if you look at some of the players around him, he never had a number one wide receiver. He's never had like the top end, targets around him, but yet he was able to still win from do what he was able to do, win, be an MVP and do these things. But ultimately, I think Baltimore's always had a better offensive line than Justin Fields has been given. But to answer the question, like Justin Fields does need to do those things on his own too. He can't get off he needs to get off his first read a little bit quicker, process the field a little bit better. It'll help if we have a stable offensive line, but there are things on Justin Fields that he definitely needs to improve. But I would like to see him with capable playmakers to see if that can also improve his internal clock. If you get a number one wide receiver, Mark, that's going to be his first read. So he's going to look at maybe a DeAndre Hopkins first. And if that guy is open, which he probably will be knowing the player he is, then you don't have to look off of him as quickly, or, you can still process the field. But like, I think Lamar Jackson, look, MVP type player, is a very special player. I don't know what the Baltimore Ravens are ultimately doing right now, because losing a guy like that, it's going to be bad. But like, he was able to do it without having premium stuff around him. Good coaching definitely helps, but we need to still see Justin Fields take care of what he can take care of, and then obviously give him the weapons, and then we'll ultimately see hopefully a better Justin Fields as a passer.
So one of my favorite moments with Fields last year actually came in training camp. He's rolling left, and it's a goal line drill. He's looking for someone in the end zone. The play ended up incomplete, but I was like right there, and I was able to hear him say, I tried to move the safety with my eyes this way. And so I was able to see in real time and hear him kind of his thought process and how he was seeing the field, which got me excited about what this dude can be. Now, this is training camp for one, but also he's on the move outside of the pocket, and he's improvising. It's where he's comfortable, and you can see that his mind's, moving big time doing it. We don't need to talk about this anymore. He does not process in the pocket as fast as other quarterbacks. He doesn't. And he has to get better at it, and or the Bears have to strategize with his skill set better, which they did in the middle of the season last year, and that's when it took off, and they're scoring 30 points a night. Then teams adjusted. Fields got a little tired. Whatever, the weapons got hurt. Darnell Mooney and everybody else went away. Claypool had no impact. He got hurt too. So it went down, it fell apart. There is enough there for them to be successful with Justin Fields. Nobody would say that. And he is not a savant in the pocket, seeing everything that's going on and always finding the right person at the right time. He ain't that yet. Can he get there? I don't know. It's going to be really hard to get there. That is a high level of skill that is going to take some serious time to get to. Can he be successful with a ton of talent around him? Yes, I think he can. Okay, I've talked about enough about Fields today.
There we go. No, yeah, there's a lot. There's question marks still, but that's why, like you, like me, everyone, CHGO Bears, everyone hopefully in the chat wants to see what he can do when he hopefully has some weapons. Then we can have a better assessment of him, because we all know he's a special talent, has all the physical attributes. So let's give him some weapons, see what he's all about.
All right, I'm jumping on here, guys, because we had a super chat from my guy, Justinian Funches, that's Justin, who 1 week ago tonight came up to me inside of Prime 47 and was like, "Are you Lawrence?" And I was like, "What?" He's like, "From CHGO," and I was like, "You recognize me?" I was like, "Whoa." So thanks for that, Justin. That made my ego go through the roof. He says for 999, Miles Sanders or re-sign David Montgomery?
I like both these players coming out of the draft, Mark, in 2019. And I did ultimately want the Bears to get Montgomery. But Miles Sanders, I think Miles Sanders is going to cost more. He should cost more than David Montgomery. He's more versatile. So, again, I'm on the train. I'm staying with Montgomery.
Yeah, Justinian, same price point. Everyone's taking Sanders. What's the difference? Are you getting Montgomery for 4 and Sanders is going for 8? Or 10? I'll take David Montgomery in that scenario. But if you're asking me who would I rather have between the two, that's a no-brainer. And by the way, Justinian, as I mentioned last time you were in the chat, you're going places, buddy. I got you. On DraftKings, I bought your futures, buddy. I am in on Funches. Let's go. We got other from Super Mouncey back at it. What tackle would you rather have? Taylor for $20 million, Wynn for 12, McGlinchey for 18, or Brown for 25? I hope that is not what they're not giving Brown $25 million. In what you just lined up, I'd probably take Taylor.
So that's Taylor Lewan, right? For $20 million?
Wouldn't that be the kid from Jacksonville?
Jacksonville. Okay, thank goodness. I'm like, Taylor Lewan for $20 million? No way. Look, I've already said I like McGlinchey and how he would fit in this offense. I know he's on a bunch of highlight reels from Micah Parsons, but he does fit this wide zone scheme. And he does fill a need at that right tackle position that the Bears currently don't have. So I'm going to go with McGlinchey on this one.
Okay, whatever. Agree to disagree. Give me Juwan. All right. We will come back with some outstanding fun to wrap up the show. That's the plan, right, Nick? That's what we're doing. But right now we're thinking about the Big Ten tournament later today. And if you want to go over there, by using the Game Time Ticket app, the hottest new ticketing site. It does make it easier than ever to get the best deals of tickets, sports, concerts, and shows. Courtside, 50-yard line, behind home plate, baseball rolling around, floor seats at a concert. They've got you covered. It's all possible with the Game Time app. The biggest last-minute price drops can be found in the seats that you thought you could never buy. There is no better deal in the secondary market. Created by the fans, for the fans. Guaranteed the lowest price. And, of course, if you love CHGO, you're going to love Game Time. Best way to support us, buy your tickets to the Big Ten tournament or anywhere else through the link in the description and join over 15 million amazing people who have downloaded the Game Time app to score the best seats to all your favorite events.
After you use Game Time to go check out the Big Ten tournament, hopefully when you're there, you can get some Goose Island beer because CHGO is supported by Goose Island Beer Company, Chicago's beer since 1988. So many great options like the Blackhawks Pale Ale, Bull City 312 Beer Hug IPA series, and my new favorite, No Plans. Goose Island's 2 locations are open and ready to welcome you. Grab a beer from their innovation tanks at the Goose Island Tap Room at 1800 West Fulton, or get a smash burger and a fresh beer of the week at the original Clybourne Brew House at 1800 North Clybourne. For reservation and pickup, go to gooseisland.com/locations. Goose Island Beer Company.
I am looking up right now. Sorry for the brief pause there. I'm looking up on the Goose Island situation. I should know this off the top of my head, but I do not. But I do now, or almost now, because, of course, it gives me the top 25 and not what I'm looking for. Big Ten tournament tomorrow. I'm not sure. Whenever the hell the first game is, I think it's 1, I want to say. I'm guessing. Somewhere around there. Braggs and I are going, and you're, of course, invited, Nick, you too, Lawrence. We will be at Goose Island on Fulton pregame to hang out before the extravaganza. So come on by. Would love to see anybody there. That's the plan. And depending on who's playing on Sunday, we'll hit that up on Twitter. That's an option too. $19.99 from our guy, Mark Gautier. 1-year anniversary of the CHGO subscription. Best money spent. Been with the pod since before the name changed to the Chicago Audible. Keep up the great work. Mark, you have no idea what that means to all of us. Thank you so much. Seriously.
Thank you.
We really greatly appreciate it. And we say it all the time, but I'll say it again here on this Friday. Anybody who has supported us in any single way, CHGO starting roughly a year ago, I got brought on midway through in September. I was so incredibly jealous a year ago of it and so happy when I got the opportunity to join. And it's just, even those who have called me the biggest idiot and have wanted me off this podcast, I love you all, baby. It's been a ton of fun. And honestly, you can't work with a better group of people. My guy Nick taking me through snowstorms, Lawrence in his beauty of daily brilliance that literally only one man brings. I mean, seriously, look at that dude. And of course, everybody else from Hogue to Woot to, I'm just talking about the Bears, but the whole company too. So it's really been from my standpoint. And that guy too, Gregory P. Braggs, Will, whoever the hell else I'm forgetting here.
A lot of people. That's fine.
Carmi V.
It's okay. You're not winning an Oscar right now.
You got it. So
thank you, Mark. That's all that really matters.
So bottom line, we appreciate it as we continue to build this, and hopefully it keeps on going in the direction it's going. All right. So I asked on Twitter yesterday, good old at the Carm, if you're not following me.
Am I supposed to play this video? Because I do have it up here. Do we want to listen?
Oh, you do? Do you want to play it?
Do we really want to listen to you when we're already listening to you? That's the question. It's right there. Look at this face. I mean, do we want to hear this?
I mean, we can.
We can. Let's do it.
Oh, God. Here we go.
Rise and shine. Show coming up at noon. Question for you, recreational athletes out there. What is the best feeling you can have on an athletic court or field? Swishing a jumper, drive down the lane, lay it in, home run in a softball game, scoring a goal soccer field. I don't know, for my tennis peeps out there, maybe a backhand winner down the line, serve down the tee. You get the point. Your favorite, best feeling moment you can have when playing a sport. Let me know what you got. Rise and shine.
Love it. Love it.
I don't know. I was literally walking in the office. I have no idea why that just popped in my head, but I just got excited about it. We had some phenomenal responses. Mark Giangreco's in the chat talking about throwing bombs to his sons, like the perfect spiral. People are RK is talking about hitting the 180-yard iron within 5 feet of the stick and it's spinning back. I still think about a crossover move that I made at Iowa in intramurals, shaking right at the elbow, bang, and running back down the court, feeling unbelievable. I used to be able to hit homers in softball over fences, and when that shit was sailing in the air, it was such a great feeling. So I think I actually did this exercise so I could just let everybody know what a great athlete I am in my own mind. But what do you got? What do you got, team? Where your favorite recreational? We can read some chats here. Nick, Lawrence, what stands out?
Well, first of all, I'll go with me because I'm most important. My crowning achievement as an athlete was when I was about 10 or 12 years old, and my rec league basketball team, we were beating the heck out of a team. I think I've told this story before. There's like 4 seconds left in the game. We're up 97-65. Yeah, we're scoring that many points against some poor team. I'm at the halfway line, and my buddy gives me the eyes. We kind of catch eyes. They're shooting a free throw, the other team. He gets the rebound, throws it down the court to me. I catch it. I have to go inside the three-point line. I step back, drain the three at the buzzer. They carry me off the floor. We score 100 points on this poor team. It was quite a game. My dad, who was the coach, he got yelled at by the opposition coach. Why are you letting us score 100? We're like 10-year-olds. Give me a break, guy. Settle down.
That's a 10-year-old team puts up 100, and
we did.
That's really amazing. Step back, end of the game. I like it. Very, very, very solid, and like in real competition too, not just like pickup, which is kind of fun too. Nick.
Yeah, for me, I have to go football. It's my brother and I. He was a quarterback. I'm a wide receiver. We played same position in high school, but in intramural at Iowa, we need a big play to happen. And I loved running a post route. I could set up perfectly. And the guys on the other team, we just got to guard this dude. That was me. My brother put the ball in a perfect spot, and I went up and got that damn football, brought it down, and it was like a 35, 40-yard play, and I just spun the ball on the ground. I'm like, I was swearing at the time, but I'm like, you can't guard me. And that was also always a good feeling too. When I was working from the slot, running a little, go pretend like you're going inside, come back out, and just breaking some dude's ankles, turning up, getting some yak like that. I live for that. And I miss that so much competing in sports, but yeah, just being someone one-on-one or going up over a guy.
I'll say this intramural football, or I think we had a flag football team, but down by the lakefront back in the day, and like playing cornerback and breaking on an out route and getting the pick six. That is, what a feeling that is. Go ahead, Mark.
No, I was just gonna underline the we're all here because we're watching sports. We're talking about watching, but like for those of us who have played not at the highest level, but it's just good to underline that like it can be this fun on. And you can, and that moment sticks with you. A lot of the people I've seen in the chat, Cassie in the chat is writing on Twitter her gymnastics talents, and I see jailbreak out. You guys are maybe think about Little League. It went downhill from there. Yeah, but you had that Little League jailbreak. I had that triple on Friday night where you couldn't hit a home run in Little League unless they sent you. If you ran through the third base coach, you had to go back. So he's giving me the stand up, and I remember just trotting in the third, parents in the stands. Great feeling at good old across the street at Lincoln School. Let's go.
Love it.
Kari Blasingame said, hitting my first ace in Frolf. I think that's a good one.
Okay.
Torian talking about a walk-off homer.
Yep.
KJ, game-winning shot for sure.
Mm-hmm.
RW, ace to win. I'm not going to read what Chicken with Yams said because that's funny, and I'm not going to read it, though. Doug Van Doren says, home run in a hardball game. The pure feeling of the power of the swing flowing into the ball is magical. Doug, that's a great way of putting it. I love it. That's great.
I remember one single from freshman B baseball where it was a perfect level of connection, and it's just a rope shot up there. And when you're coming out of the box and you're letting that bat go down and you're feeling like the man, it's hard to beat. It's a hard to beat one.
Bully Bears game-winning jump shot. Robert Lee, I bombed down the middle of the fairway. That's a nice feeling.
Stand there and enjoy it.
Yeah. Phil Reed, slam dunking a game winner over that guy I hate on the other team. Phil, I didn't know you had hops. Let's go.
That's big.
Oh, yeah.
We got athletes watching the
Here
show.
we go. Here's an athlete. Cody says, getting all the laundry in one load.
That's so big, dude.
That's huge.
Huge. Andre says a strike in bowling. Seriously, that's very few and far between for me.
That's a big high five.
Yeah.
I like the one from RM
on
here.
Twitter. The turkey in the final round is a great one.
RM, where's RM?
You throw you 3 strikes. Last frame.
Oh, here we go.
That's a boss move.
Taking out 5 guys alone in dodgeball my senior year of high school from RM.
Elite.
RM,
Elite.
you were terrifying, RM. I wanted nothing to do with you, buddy.
Where's another one? Anything else?
We miss it. That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
We all miss competing and, all those
Here we go.
accolades
Hair
that we
Bear.
had in sports.
Let's do this one, then we'll stop. Hair Bear says, playing Nerf hoops against my wife to see who did dishes and sunk one from the couch without getting up and not missing a beat on PS4 for the win.
Boom.
That's
Boom.
great.
For the win, Hair Bear. For the win.
Amazing.
That's awesome. That's right. Get after those dishes.
Yeah.
That's a good marriage. That's a good partner you chose right there. If she's willing to gamble on Nerf hoop or stuff like that, that's a win, Hair Bear. Good job. All right, hey, if anything breaks this weekend, we will break in as far as Bears news.
I'm not ready.
Yeah, but it's here. So, and what could break this weekend is the Bears making a trade ahead of free agency. Unlikely, but if it happens, just know that we got you covered. So we'll be paying attention. And of course, we'll be at the Big Ten tournament. Come on by Goose Island tomorrow if you want to get a beverage if you're coming out before Northwestern advances to the finals on Sunday. Hit the like button. Have a great Friday.